Welcome everybody, my name is Carlos. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be going over a leg, chest, and biceps session. For the last few weeks we've been doing like a deload, nothing too structured. It's nothing, brought out of somebody's, powerlifting playbook or anything like that. I just decided to take a few weeks off from my last training block, which was very heavy, very intense, and kind of protracted from December all the way to mid-April. And it was just time for a little bit of change. Now, the idea is to increase these lifts. We want to get really big, we want to get really strong, and in the pursuit of that end, we must take some strategic breaks now and then if we want to recover. So this week was this is the last week of this deload, and it's been like a working vacation. Each time I go to the gym, how many sessions was it? 4, 8? Okay, so these 8 sessions have been really easy for me because in the last training block, I'm talking about 20, 25, 30 sets per session, some very intense lifting, lots of reps, lots of sets, and that can be pretty exhausting, to recuperate from session to session. So bringing the volume all the way down to the minimum, like 2 working sets per exercise, and that's it. And yesterday was no different. So as always with the legs, we start out with the bicycle. Yesterday was the spinning bike, which you turn the knob there and, subjectively gauge how, much pressure you want to put, how much tension. It's pretty easy. So we just warm up 12 minutes, trying to get our core body temperature elevated so we can minimize the risk of tears and injuries. From there, we went to the squat, straight to the heavy lifts, or to the heavy lift, and start out with deep knee bends, stretching, getting the hips to open, just bringing the high knee kick, these type of things. Because with the squat, what we're trying to do is practice depth. So in this training block, it's all about going all the way ass to grass, full ROM, and practicing strength from the bottom. Now, I know it's not a requisite to go ass to grass. It's not something that is mandatory in powerlifting or anything like that. But for us that are striving to perfect the squat, in my opinion, it is best to practice all the way down. For one, it's more functional to be able to do that. The strength that is required to come out of the hole is greater than just going down to parallel. And for me particularly, this may not be the case for anybody else, but for me particularly, going down to parallel with heavy weight was putting a lot of strain on my knees. So this has actually been helping to rehabilitate my knees. It's not like they were, they had any type of serious pathology. They were not injured or anything like that. They were just chronically sore. And it was difficult for me to squat down all the way down. Even in the mornings going to the toilet, it's like, oh my God, my knees, must be the age. Bullshit. It's just lack of proper technique. So I have been practicing what is called the pause at the bottom. And it seems to work, it's been helping me immensely, to be honest. And the stretch reflex that I get for, staying on the bottom for a couple of seconds is actually, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. You guys should try it out. Start out with the deep knee bend, just squatting down as if you're in the catcher position, on the baseball field, and practice that. Just stay at the bottom for a while, 20, 30 seconds. Practice that and you'll find it'll become a lot easier to do with the weight. So we started out with the squat as usual, 1 plate, 2 plates, and then our top working set today was 3 plates, only 5 reps, very easy, very doable. There was no mental resistance to getting under the bar and doing it because at the end of the day, it's only 1 set, right? So we got 5 reps. Last 2 reps were with the pause, and that was that. It was very easy, very low volume. From there, went to the walking lunges. Now, these walking lunges are surprisingly effective. They're also surprisingly taxing when you do them with any kind of weight. So yesterday was no different. Started out with the body weight lunge, 30, 40 paces, which is pretty easy. But those particular body weight lunges really give me a pump and a great stretch on the quads, the hams, and everything. So I highly recommend doing those also. Now, yesterday we also did those lunges with 55-pound dumbbells. I was gassed after 15 reps, like 15 paces. It was like, oh my, that is truly a pain in the ass. It's grueling. I mean, 55-pound dumbbells, they're not too heavy, but to walk with those dumbbells doing the long step lunge, you'd be surprised. Give it a try. It is very, very taxing. So yeah, after those, went and did some seated leg curls, and I didn't get it on the video, but the isolateral on the isolateral machine where you do the standing leg curl one leg at a time, very effective. And just did the minimum there. Did like 10 reps on each one with considerable weight. I mean, as much as I could do for those reps. I think it was like 60 pounds on each side, and on the seated was 115 pounds or something like that. No big deal. Now from there we went to the bench press, the incline bench, getting stronger, getting better at it, and went up to 100 kilos for the 5 reps, nothing out of the ordinary, just holding our ground with the weight that we have been doing in the past, just trying to get a little bit more competent with it, trying to bring the depth a little bit more, controlling the bar a little bit more. Far from perfection, but hey, this is a work in progress. I'm not a pro. I'm just a man trying to get better and has a hope of actually achieving his goal one day. So same thing there, just one top set with 100 kilos. And then from there went to the biceps curl with the Z bar. Now there's been, I've been putting up some videos about bar speed and all that bullshit, but hey, I got a lot of pushback from that. And I see that training technique is very much like religion. It's, people have their beliefs, and some people have adhered to these training systems for years, if not decades. And when told that there might be a different way of doing it, or that this is like better than this, and people get very, very upset. I've seen that it is almost like a religion, because in physical fitness, there is a great deal of idolatry going on. And so this is a very touchy subject. And look, if you've been training slow and it works for you, that's great. If you've been training fast, if you've been doing this and it works, that's great. Now, for those of you who actually want to seek out and learn different techniques in lieu of trying to improve your lifts, well, give it a try. Give bar speed a try. Look at what bar speed can do for you. Check out powerlifting if you've only been a gym rat doing bodybuilding routines with machines and cables. Perhaps it might be a change of pace for you to take up powerlifting for 3 months. What is it? What is 3 months out of your life, right? Get into it. It might do you wonders, So all these things are just so many tools in the box in physical fitness and the pursuit of muscularity and all of this and top physique. There's so many ways of going about it that, I think a little bit of experimentation is worth the try. So biceps curl yesterday. Just normal, no big deal, 90 pounds on the Z curl, and really trying to control the weight for that particular set. What can I say? I put all my mind into it from the very first rep, just trying to curl as hard as possible. And, what else can you do? 9 reps there, then went to the seated dumbbell curls with 35 pounds, sticking with 35 pounds for the time being. I can do more, I can do less, doesn't matter. I'm just doing 35s right now. And they seemed surprisingly easy. Like from the first set, it's like, man, this is like I'm getting a good contraction, squeeze at the top, bring the pinky up a little bit, and just try to get the mind-muscle connection. And no, they're still not, growing, out of control or anything like that. But, here it's mostly about the lifts and output and performance. And I believe that, with proper nutrition and all this, over time, muscle will be built. So, and ended with 1 set of abdominals. So that was the big routine, no big deal. Just another link in the chain of a series of sessions that need to be performed in order to progress in the future. Like, this is a very long-term thing, right? This is like years and years and years of one training block after another, deloads, pushing it, bringing it back. And who's to say, or how do you know which session was more important than the other? It's like just a continuity of everything, and it has to build and build and build. So if you take a few weeks where there's nothing really exceptional, just like you're treading water or you're just doing like the same routine for a few weeks, that's fine. Now, if your goal is to actually increase your parameters, then you have to know that you have to step up the volume or the intensity at some point. And this is why I believe that keeping a training log is paramount to success. Because if you don't know exactly what you have been doing in your last workouts, well, it's hard to remember if you did 9 reps or 10 reps, and that extra rep with that same weight is important if you are trying to do progressive overload. So this is why I always tell everybody, if you're serious about the gym or if you're serious about progress, keep a training log. It'll help you, and it becomes it's just a very helpful tool. So, it's not absolutely needed. A lot of the great champions in the past never used training logs or kept a record of anything. That doesn't mean you can't do it, and it doesn't mean it doesn't help. It just means that he didn't do it, and it worked for him, and that's fine. It's again, like people get so opinionated about things. Oh, you don't need a training log. Training logs are great. Just do what works for you. You guys are all very smart people. You can figure it out for yourselves, but in my case, training logs help. Okay, so that was basically it for the week for the legs, chest, and biceps. And it's the second week of this deload. I was thinking about taking it for a third week, but I'm a little too impatient. I'm very anxious just to start again and start building it up. So next week with the squat, it will be taken up a notch, either in reps or weight. I believe it's weight that I'll be, bringing up. What we were doing in the past was just trying to increase reps with those heavy weights, and that is really hard to do from week to week. So if you're doing like what I was doing, 375 pounds, which is 3 discs and a 3/4, like a 30 kilo, and trying to do like 10 reps with that, man, I mean, just the mental block at the beginning is just too much. So I'm bringing the whole scheme down to like between 4 and 6 with the top weights. And what I will be doing is including an AMRAP set at the end of that particular exercise. So we build up to a top set. Say on the squat, it's 365, right? Do 4 reps for 6. Then you bring it down to either 3 plates or 2.5, and try to do as many reps as possible, as many reps as you have the energy for that day, be it, 10, 12, if you can go higher, that's fine. Although I would suggest in these training blocks to not push the extremes of volume, because volume is what creates greater fatigue, and the idea is to do this frequently. Just build on each and every single session, where you leave something in the tank knowing that you can go into the next session and do more. Like what you wanted to do more today, leave it for the next session and just build on that. Because if you use all your energy, all your power for that one session, you're just killing it. It's going to be hard to recuperate for the next session. So you're going to have a heavy day and a light day, and it just becomes like, I don't know, this is my opinion. What I want to do is like get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And that requires pulling back the volume a little bit during that session. There's a time and a place, but as far as this particular block for the next 3 months, the idea is to be very, very cautious with the volume, increase the intensity, push the weights to their limits with just enough volume, and that'll permit progression from week to week. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the lifts in the video, and God bless everybody. We'll see you next time.